Hi, Vibe Tribe. It's been a minute since I've been able to get on here and channel, but we got new moon coming up in Virgo on August 27th. So I wanted to kind of go over what I think Helena and I kind of shared today, what we were picking up and channeling. I haven't fully read all of her channel message that she posted. I'm sure it's amazing. I like to channel and then I like to look afterwards and see what she's got. But I also wanted to kind of give a little bit of what I've been seeing and sensing in the collective for us this year. Now, in the beginning of the year, I had done a video about our predictions for the year. I kind of explained about kind of like quarters and what I saw and what to expect. So as I was channeling today, I also got some further information. There's a lot happening planetary, and there's a lot of signs that are going to be affected, but really what I'm seeing is just in total of the whole world. We're going to go through some massive shifts, which is what we've been wanting, and which is what we've all been really working on, and which is really in the plans. And so what I did gain from what was going on, there's going to be some fixed signs. So any of you that have these signs in your astrological chart, please pay attention, because this means it's going to have an impact in your life because you're ready to grow an expired version of yourself. So my lovelies, for any of you that have Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, I don't care if it's your moon sign, your sun sign, is it in your astrological chart? And if you don't know, you want to Google online and you can go ahead and order your own free astrological chart. But you will need to know where you were born, what time you were born, like the location, because you'll have to enter that. So that way they can give you the exact placements that are in your astrological chart that makes you so unique. So let's go over the different fixed signs and how that's going to influence us right now and what it's doing to us today. So like I said, Taurus is here, and Taurus is very involved in what is happening on the planet. And it's going to be that way for quite a while. It's not going to let up until next year. So let me kind of give you a little bit of what does Taurus do. Taurus is an earth element, and it's all about abundance and being very determined and working and achieving one's goals. So for those of you that may have had difficulty with getting on point and getting more organized, you're going to appreciate that Taurus energy along with this Virgo energy to get organized and to follow through and do what you need to reach your goals. However, what I also appreciate about the Taurus energy is going to ignite this desire to enjoy the pleasures of life, whether that could be doing something for yourself, or you get excited or you're pleased when you help other people, but that's also going to be a big stage for you as well. And Taurus sign out of the zodiacs is all about lavishness. It's all about the material world. So the theme for the rest of this year and going into, I believe, spring, early, maybe March next year, I have to recall on that, but you will notice that many of us are going to be feeling very determined to get ourselves together and having a more structured way of organization to build up our finances and to build up the dreams of our material world, whatever that may be to you, whether it's getting a new car, new house, new wardrobe, because you're changing and evolving and what you used to do just doesn't seem to excite you anymore. So you got that Taurus sign. So any of you, you'll be noticing that is being excited inside of you. Now, Leo is a fire element. Leos are very passionate beings. They are very determined as well. So that's going to really help us being encompassed with the Virgo and Taurus energy. It is also very expressive and charismatic, and they like to be seen. So they're going to, Leos ignite the spark within the spirit. And right now, Divine said that the theme for the rest of this year is connection to spirit's purpose. And of course, unity amongst us all. So I thought that was really neat how Leo is also going to have, it's already here. The Leo energy is already supporting us in that level. And with that fire element, that means anything that may have been too low on the totem pole of importance will now start getting your attention. You'll gravitate and be more attracted to getting certain things done. So that's going to be very helpful. The other fixed sign is Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is our water element. So you notice you've been feeling a little bit of emotional. That's what water signs do. They make us deal with what we've been suppressing and running away from, because as we've learned that if we hold emotions that are lower vibrational resonance, it can create illness and disease and other terrible stagnant things and unfold in ways that can make you ill. So better that we deal with it. Yes, we're going to cry. Yes, we're going to bitch. We're going to have these moments, but it's also a way of us learning how to be expressive. So Scorpio is also very passionate. So we got a lot of passion. You see the theme? There's a lot of passion happening right now. And so you'll notice that your intuition is also going to heighten. Scorpio is all about revealing the mysteries of life and engaging the imagination. And that's going to be very helpful for us to close out this year. Aquarius is our air element, and I adore Aquariuses as well because they are the intellectual ones. They're the ones that help us to put our thoughts into perspective, to reorganize our current existing structures that may not be suiting us anymore because you've already outgrown certain patterns that may have served you, and you notice that you're not getting the same kind of outcome. It's because it's time for you to go back to the drawing board, reorganize, restructure, and go outside of your comfort zone and get bold and expressive into what kind of style that you are calling and commanding into your life. However, there's always some kind of trick to this. So let me kind of get into that more as well. What I was getting about the connection to our spiritual purpose is that all of these particular signs and planet retrogrades that we're going through is going to help us to recognize who we are and what we really want to accomplish in our lives. So no more sitting on the back burner, no more excuses, no more I feel terrible, I don't think I'm good at this. Those old ways of talking down to yourself, it's got to be out of your vocabulary. It can't be a part of who you are anymore, because what you focus upon, and let me make this clear, this is what really got to me in this channel message. What you focus on is what you will attract. So if you're focusing on your lack of, this is terrible. You're going to attract it like a magnet. It's just going to come into your field and into your life. And the very thing that you are afraid of is going to appear. So what you want to do is, instead of putting yourself down or looking at the lack of, start speaking of the wonderful qualities you do possess, what you've already been working on. Give yourself a pat on the back, acknowledge the hard work and determination that you've placed inside of your life, and recognize how it's serving you already. And yes, it's just going to keep getting better. Give yourself the grace that you deserve, because if you don't, my dear friends, you're going to start feeling it. And if you haven't already, it's going to happen. Today, retrogrades started already, and we're going through multiple, I think like 6 retrogrades until the end of this year. And some of them will follow us into the following year. When retrogrades show up, it's like, to me, it's spirit saying, the universe is saying, pivot your direction, because the planets are going into the opposite direction. So I believe that a lot of the times it feels very Alice in Wonderland when I'm channeling, because I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to go down. We got to go deeper into ourselves. We got to go into the unfamiliar zones of our lives, and we got to explore it. And we got to have courage and tenacity so we can persevere, so we can get to where we want to go. So we're going to have to learn why all these planets are going through retrograde and why all this tension is happening. It's for us to learn how to overcome our challenges. Let me say that again. It's to learn how to overcome our challenges. I was like, because I always ask why. I'm like that kid asking the parent, why? Because I want to be inquisitive, because I'm sure you'll have the same questions as I do. So that was the answer that I got, that this year, many of us will have to be challenged so we can learn from that, because our old ideals and patterns and lifestyles, you've asked to grow and to be bold and expressive and expansive, but you still want to stay in what's comfortable and familiar. And again, those who have those signs, you're really going to feel it. The rest of the world will too. So, but those signs that I just mentioned, you're going to notice it even deeper. because that's where the signs are currently being stimulated on the planet. So you'll be noticing that major changes where I'm seeing a lot of movements happening September, October, November, December. December looks a little weird. When I hit into December, it gets kind of solid. I don't know what that is. It just, when I look into December, it's kind of like, and I think about, well, I know it's a dormant season, and I was trying to find out why that looks so silent. It just seems really quiet and disconnected. I don't like that. I don't know what it means exactly yet, but I'm just sharing what I was able to pick up. So I started seeing that towards the second half of September, things are going to start getting a little bit more tense than what we anticipated. We've got Aries running the show as well. And if you're familiar with Aries, Aries has got that warrior Mars energy. And it's been in our, it's been influencing our planet since really 2020, 2021. It's been here. It comes and goes, but it looks as though that energy is coming right back. So obviously we have the war that is still going on in Ukraine. Does that mean that there could be possible other versions of war amongst the planet? That could be through organizations, governments, agencies, in the family lines. Ooh, that's big. Friendships, relationships. I'm seeing a lot of upheaval. So like what I was seeing towards the second half of September, October, November, what I kept seeing in my visuals was like if someone went to the hall closet, maybe near your front door, and you kind of like push everything in, or you kind of, maybe you have a junk drawer or a closet full of stuff, or, you know, everyone has something like that where we kind of just put all our stuff in there. We're like, we'll get to it later. I saw visually that that door bursted open and all the stuff that was holding it fell down onto the ground. And I was like, whoa, what does that mean, divine? And so what I'm seeing is that because Aries is still involved, Aries is all about equality, making sure that everyone is eating at the table, that everyone is taken care of. And if it's not being taken care of, there's injustice, that Aries energy becomes very passionate and unapologetic and will create some major changes to stir up for fairness amongst others. So that's what I keep seeing. It's coming through, and like I'm seeing in September, some very major upheavals. So keep that in mind. If you feel like upheavals are happening in your relationships, in your family dynamic, in your profession, it's because we didn't deal with it. We kind of stockpiled it and closed the door and pretend it wasn't there because we're like, we'll get to it, but we forgot to get to it, or maybe we just didn't want to. Either way, that door is going to burst open. I'm not feeling that. I'm a Taurus. So I was not happy when I was channeling this today because I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? We're going to go through a huge remodel in my life. Oh my goodness. So I got to have faith and hold on to that. Here's what I'm also seeing. If you're not familiar with Uranus, Uranus is all about future energy. So I don't know if you're familiar yet, but if not, take a look at our Facebook post. Helena did a wonderful channeled message about Uranus, and Uranus is very future energy. And it's all about freedom and not following the rules. Okay, where the opposition is Saturn, and Saturn is all about the past and following rules and regulations and policies and just to secure certain things for safety. But that Uranus energy, having that Taurus element involved, it is going to break up what we've known. So a Taurus is a fixed earth element sign. So it doesn't surprise me that that upheaval that I saw is going to happen. Here's the thing. The Taurus energy is going all the way until the end of this year. And I think also a little bit into next year. Whew, so we're going to go through some major remodeling and rebirths, but it's necessary because the two, Uranus and Saturn, are like in this tug of war. And that's the other thing that I saw. For this year, we're seeing a lot of tug of war. It's necessary though, because if we didn't have the tug of war, we wouldn't necessarily as a human race see the need for these changes or to hear other people's opinions, to tweak it to serve everyone in the best way that we can. So what I'm getting is that we are all of us, whether you have these fixed signs in your natal chart or not, all of us at some level and degree, we're going through some major quantum shifting. We're leaping fast and quickly. And if you haven't noticed it yet, you'll maybe getting it very soon, where things all of a sudden just going to pick up and go. And you're gonna be like, what just happened? Shock factors are going to be huge this year, whether again, it's personally, professionally, or throughout the world. I am seeing that we have outgrown a lot of the way we've lived as a society, although they want to bring some of that back. When you start seeing that tug of war, that becomes the foundation to recreate a newer foundation. So I am seeing some major timelines being manipulated, not only on this planet, but other timelines for those of you that work with other forms of energetic realms. So I'm seeing a lot of activity going on. And of course, I'm going to channel all this on the day that Uranus is going retrograde on August 24th. So what I'm getting is that because the Taurus element is here to assist us, this is a very earthly sign. So we are seeing changes as the resonance frequency for the new earth, but just changes overall. That's with agriculture, because Taurus has to do with food and money. You know, all the basic material needs that secures us is going to go through some tug of war this year. And we're going to see a little bit of that too going on the first part of next year as well. However, I do want to make sure that all of you be mindful about how you're investing, how you are putting the income that you have into sustainability and abundance. So, you know, if you see a great sale on certain foods or toiletries or resources, stock up as best as you can throughout the months. I'm not sure what it is. I'm wondering, I'm still thinking, like, it's still making me think about December. Why it's so dark? Why is it so like mute? I don't like that feeling. So that could be different things. I don't know exactly what that is, but that tells me I better get prepared just in case, because if we don't forget 2020, wasn't that the toilet paper issue that we had? Oh my God. I was like, bring out your old mismatched socks. Do what you gotta do. That was the joke in my household. My kids didn't think that was funny, but I was like, hey man, you do what you gotta do. So I don't want to be caught up in that. After channeling today, I am going to reassess my logistics and my finances and make sure that I have myself in order. So that way, when these upheavals happen, we don't know exactly when, but we do know that they're coming, that I would be able to be more at ease with these sudden ruptures that will be happening across the world. Now, here's another thing that you've been maybe noticing. If you've been feeling a little restless, it's because your intuitive self, whether you're aware of it or not, the intuitive subconscious is now picking up that there's these changes that are happening that are going to be uncomfortable. They're not going to be what we're used to. It's not supposed to, but human nature, when it's something that's outside of our norm, we get totally thrown off. We get very upset. We can become actually moody, frustrated a little more easily, and argumentative, because when fear or confusion strikes us as humans, that is unfortunately part of our reactive state that we may more or less be more fine-tuned in, or we're still got to work on that. So please be aware that these intense energies are going to make you more restless because of the world, the planet outside, what's going on outside of our planet and what's happening in our homes. And so this is going to be major shifts that are so radical that you will not be the same. And that's may seem scary, but it may actually be the answer to your manifestations. If you've been asking for a different version of you, a more confident, courageous version of you, a new expressive, expansive, bold, confident being, then this will serve you to get you there. Remember, anytime we deal with changes, it isn't always comfortable, but it is necessary. I am also getting those that a lot of you are already awakened. We're going to have, like I was telling a couple of healers, ooh, I was like, we're going to be busy in 23 in the next 3 years, really. I see huge shifts. I see a lot of us healers that are already attuned. Those are not yet, but are ready, and they're already feeling that call to take on that healer position because that's what their soul desired and contracted to do. Honeys, we're going to be so busy because we're going to have such amazing souls realize who they are and what they're meant to do. And they're going to need our compassion, our empathy, our time, our support, suggestions, and energetic influences and guidance through readings to help them to be more at ease with the new version of themselves that they didn't even know that they had inside of them. So let's try to be patient with them as well. Here's the other purpose thing. This is the time, and you'll notice it. Watch today and going forward in the next, as we're going towards the end of the year, you're going to feel so inclined to be more like focused, like laser focused, because we got Gemini involved, and Gemini have the air element, but they're intellectual, creative souls. Oh my goodness, they're like geniuses. They see the world differently than we do. They have the two personas intertwined, so that's really cool. They get multiple perspectives. So we got Gemini involved right now, assisting our planet as well. So what does that mean for you? You're going to feel, again, that tug of war of intellectual beings along with the internal processing. And so that Gemini energy is going to influence you to really process who you are, what you've gone through, what you're currently working upon, and what you're going to do going forward. So there's a lot of change outside of the planet, but I'm going to tell you, I see a lot of major changes within our collective, within us. Thank goodness, because we know we need it. And so I wanted to explain too, Divine was also letting me know there's going to be a lot of delays. I actually, this morning I was awake at 4 o'clock, so this is why I look like this. I've been up since 4 this morning, helping my husband with his business. And I thought it was hilarious, not really, but not for him because he was like stressed out. We had to take care of some things quickly, and we adapted and it all worked out. But geez, we felt that tensity, and we noticed that there are going to be delays. There's going to be disruptions. So the very thing that you've been working on, you've done all that you were supposed to do. You crossed your T's, you dotted your I's, you double checked your work even. And all of a sudden, something delays. Something doesn't go through. And that is so frustrating and disheartening. And the reason why that's happening is all about how we're handling these situations. What is our reactions to these delays and disruptions and just infuriating moments? Well, I'll tell you, I haven't really been passing the test. I have had my moments. My Taurus side comes out, I get very upset and I can't see anything but red and I'm ready to bulldoze. And then my Pisces self will go ahead and be like, bring it back down, chill out. Let's look at it in a bigger perspective. And this is why I was channeling today, because I was like, what is going on? So I'm noticing that there's a lot of changes that are happening within us, in our relationships. And I also wanted to say, and I've mentioned this before, but it's coming up again, especially today as we're going forward through these retrogrades. And we have multiples coming up this year. Your relationships, that could be marriage, friendships, what have you. They're going to make you reassess how you're connected to others. Remember where I said the theme this year is about unity worldwide? It's a renewal that must take place. So if you've noticed that certain relationships that you may have had that you would deal with certain things in a different manner, you don't have the tolerance for, it's because it's time to change the relationship or to walk away from the relationship. And so when I see these major influences come into the planet, I'm like, woo, this is when we start hearing more about more proposals and breakups all at the same time. So please reevaluate your relationship and communicate with those that matter to you about what's important to you. And that doesn't mean that either of you are going to do exactly what the to-do list is for one another, but maybe at that point that there creates a communication of respect in how to honor one another, or at least accept the person that you're dealing with and understand that they're going through their own soul's evolution. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention as well. Okay. These 4 fixed signs is what I was getting is going to anchor and to sustain your energy. So you're going to get very anchored. You may notice it today and going forward. It's because it's going to teach you how to sustain your energy through this uncomfortable stages of renewal. It's going to help you because you got some really good fixed signs that are very determined. Other people call it stubborn, but I like to look at that. That can be as well. But at the same time, it's going to help you to learn to be more self-assured. And that mental activity, because of Gemini's influence on our planet helping us, it's going to make you more quick-witted. It's going to cause you to want to learn more. You'll probably pick up some studies, or you'll start picking up a book, or you'll start honing in on your current skill sets and refining them to be even a better, higher version of what it is. Because that Virgo, that new moon Virgo, oh my gosh, thank you, Virgo. Thank you, Virgo energy. Like, it hit me so well. It was already like influencing me last week. Like, I've rearranged my house. I've made some changes. I'm still not done because we got some wonderful changes happening. So this Virgo energy is going to really help me to get myself in order. And it's going to help you with your daily habits and help you to replace those negative thoughts, because Virgo is a very action-oriented sign. So when they want something, it was like it should have been done like minutes ago. So they're very passionate and determined as well. So this new moon on August 27th, if you're not already feeling it already, you may notice as of that day and going forward, you'll want to reassess how you are organizing your life in general, and then to become more reflective and determined to achieve those goals. But remember, the whole thing was what you focus on is what you will attract. So then speak those positive achievements that you're working on like it's already here, like it's already happening. Communicate it to yourself and to others as it's very positive and it's going into your favor. Because if I was telling my daughter Helena today, when we were talking about someone that we had worked with in our family, the person would constantly say, I don't have enough money. So they said it so much that they genuinely do not have enough money ever. And so Helena and I, we looked at that family member and we thought, okay, so we saw that that was their language. That was the frequency that they stayed immersed in. So that is still their current issue. I don't want that. And after channeling today, I said, I don't even accept that as a part of my story. I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am thriving. I am youthful. I am fit. I am mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and energetically balanced, harmoniously, empowered, and strengthened, and healed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is, and so shall it be. Here's one thing that I am going to share that Divine told me that I need to do for myself. And then, of course, I wanted to share and pass it along. You do what you want with it. Divine was telling me that I need to breathe in a love frequency. So, and then not only breathe in the love frequency inside of my body, but to meditate on that loving energy for myself, because then I will have that loving energy to share it with others. But if I don't put it here and I don't immerse myself and marinate in all this love juice for myself, chances are I won't have any to give to anybody else. So keep that in mind. And here's another thing I also wanted to share with you guys. And if you've stayed on for this long, congratulations. I'm about to teach you something that I received not so long ago. It was this month from my cosmic beings of light. Are you ready for it? I'm going to show you what they showed me. They said to me, Jessica, there are crystals inside your pituitary in your third eye, and you can activate it all by a single breath. And I said, okay, well, I've done breath work with my healers, and I do breath work with my clients and when it's necessary. And okay, I hear you. No, it was so amazing. I took Helena to the forest in Colorado Springs and we practiced it together, and you will feel buzzing. You will even feel like you're tripping, a little lightheaded. But I'll tell you, our intuitive state really heightened. So if you want to try it, make sure you do it when you're not driving. Make sure you do it when you're not under the influence of any kind, like maybe medications that will make you kind of groggy, or alcohol, or any recreational drugs. You want to be in a place of purity. Make sure you're already hydrated too. And if you have had at least a decent meal, because it's going to create all this stimulation. So I'm going to show you how it works. All right, so I was told by my cosmic beings of light to stimulate the third eye, we must take in a deep breath, and it's going to be pulled from the groin, which is the root chakra, which is the foundation of our lives. That's the part about our stability in our life and all aspects of the material world. So I could understand why they said I had to take a deep breath and intentionally pull it from my root and bring it all the way up to the third eye. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did and what they showed me. So they said, just take a nice deep breath in. So I go, I could feel the intention. You could even grip. You can even set intention here at your root chakra. And I'm going to pull that breath all the way up. And I got to hold the breath. And I've got to place, like, you know, when you're tapping onto the third eye, you're applying pressure. There's different ways. You can tap it like this. When you're holding your breath, it's hard for me to explain it as I'm like holding my breath. So I'm going to show you. So when you have your breath held, and only do it as long as you can. Don't do it until you pass out. But you're going to hold the breath, because what you're visualizing and you're commanding in your brain is, my crystals are being activated in my mind's eye, in my third eye. Okay? Because this is what helps your intuition and illumination to come forward. So you can tap it like this. Or you could do this, where it's like I put my thumb right here onto my third eye, and I apply pressure, and I'm going to do it again. And I mean expel all the breath. And then do it again until you can feel that your third eye and those crystals are being activated. So they need your breath of life. So when you're doing again, try to concentrate on your breath coming from your groin region, the sexual glands and reproductive system, the root chakra, which is filled with red healing energy light. When you take that nice deep breath, well, this is what I did. Like, I literally want to show you how I did it, and then you could practice how you feel that it resonates with you. So I'm going to take a deep breath in. And I will do it again. So what I was applying pressure here, I was telling my brain, I activate my third eye chakra. The crystals are activated and stimulated for my highest and greatest good. I can see clearly the bigger picture. I am an intuitive being, granted wisdom, insight, and understanding. And so it is, and so shall it be. And then I kept doing it. Now, when I was doing it at the forest with Helena, I did it probably like 5 cycles until I was like, whoo. And luckily we got to meet a couple of our vibe tribes. It was awesome. And we went for a hike and all that. But that's one way that you can work on it. And the reason why I'm sharing that with you is because when I'm being told during this channeling that this is an opportunity for you to learn and to be unified, this is a great way to open up your mind's eye. Because if not, if we can't see past our own hologram, our own body, it's really hard to see forward. So if you're having a hard time to grasp what you want and what it is that you want to have, you got to first fine tune, know exactly what you want. Focus in on that. Work upon that. Do not speak badly like, oh, it's not going to work out for you. Then you're hurting yourself. Be like, all is going to work out one way or another. Divine universe is supporting me. I have faith and I believe, even when it's uncomfortable. I believe. Hold that energy, because the moment that you even question, you compromise that energy, and now that energy is going to come out wishy-washy. And that's why I believe when I was channeling, Divine was talking about tug of war energy, and that it seems to be the theme all the way until the end of the year. And it's to teach us to learn and how to cope and how to deal with these challenges in a more improved manner that's not holding us back but launching us forward. And you're going to notice today and going forward for the rest of the year, things are going to happen so fast, so abrupt. It's going to shock you. You're going to be like, what just happened? Because that's where we're at. We need to get launched forward, not held back. So I hope that you had an opportunity to get some kind of validation, confirmation, or inspiration today through today's channeling. Thank you so much for watching. If there's anything that you would like to comment, please do. For those of you that watch me on YouTube, again, I don't have a set date and time because I have a full-time running practice. Please feel free to like and subscribe so when I download my channel messages, you'll get the notification and that YouTube can also tune in. So thank you all for watching. Wishing you all love, insight, and healing. Take care and be well.